welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're talking about the brand new Laura Mercier foundation. This is the Flawless Lumière Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I have the shade called 3C1 Dune. So let's go ahead and dive into the video, but before we do that, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on the side so you can know whenever I post a new video. And yes, as you can tell, my hair is straight. The day that I'm filming this, it is Thursday, January 17th, which is my birthday. So I went to the hairdresser to get a haircut and she straightened my hair. Thank you, Layla. And now I have straight hair for the next few days until I wash it, basically. Anyway, if I keep touching my hair during the video, it's because the novelty of having straight hair does not go away with me. Like, I'm just like, ooh, so straight. It's so short. I love it. Anyway, let's talk about the foundation. So I want to preface the video by stating that I am 31 years old. I have a dehydrated skin. I don't have dry skin per se. My skin lacks water, not oil. I still get breakouts, don't worry. So I have dehydrated skin. My preferred foundation is something that is more light to medium, emphasis on the light. I love tinted moisturizers, BB creams, CC creams, and fluid foundations. That's where I personally prefer my face makeup to be. So I just think it's important to talk about that before you do a review, because if I love a full face, like a full cake face, and I try a CC cream, my opinion will be skewed. I just want to let you guys know that just from the beginning. So this is the new Laura Mercier foundation. So I bought this foundation on the Sephora.ca website, and I actually used their shade finder because you can actually figure out, hopefully, your correct shade using this shade finder. They basically use other foundations from Sephora as a point of reference. My point of reference is always the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation in number 5.5. That seems to be like universally, I don't know, I feel like when I use that as a reference, I can find a lot of other foundations. So if you use their shade finder doohickey, you can go ahead and find the shade for you. That's what I did to find this shade here, and I think it's like a pretty spot on match. Like, obviously in the bottle you can't really tell for sure, but in person and on camera, this looks like the perfect shade. There's no like discoloration, there's no line. It's the perfect match for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some information off of the website, just like details about who it's marketed for, etc. This is supposed to be a radiant finish, medium coverage. It's supposed to be for normal, dry, combination, or oily skin. So basically they're saying it's for everyone. It's a liquid formula. They say that it is a luminous liquid foundation with up to 15 hours of hydration and weightless, medium to full coverage for a perfect glowing finish in any light. That was a lot of words. So to break all that down, it's a medium liquid foundation. It's supposed to be good for any skin type, and it's supposed to have a radiant finish. It's supposed to be hydrating, and it's supposed to be long wearing. So I've been wearing it for about a week now, and I really like this foundation. It's really good. So one thing I've noticed is that when I wear it for several hours, it doesn't do the crease. Like, for me, I have this like barometer for when I'm testing foundations. I often get smile lines because I smile a lot. This one doesn't really set in these smile lines, which is fantastic. I do think that this could have like a slightly more radiant finish. It doesn't have a matte finish or semi-matte. It's definitely not in that ballpark area. But when I compare the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk or the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, those to me feel a bit more dewy and radiant immediately and throughout the day. This one I feel like doesn't, I don't know. This one I feel it is radiant, like there is some radiance there, but it could be more radiant. That's my only complaint, is that this could be more radiant. It could be a little bit more dewy possibly. And I think the fact that they're marketing this for everyone, like for every skin type, maybe that's why they didn't make it more radiant, because if you have oily skin, you probably don't want radiant foundation. But that's just like a little something that I think they could improve on. They're just making it more glowy. The foundation does feel weightless, like it doesn't feel like I have anything on my skin. So you saw earlier in the video that I used 3 pumps to do my full face. I feel like I can sometimes do 2. I'm going out tonight, so I want to do like a really full coverage. They say that this foundation is medium, but I feel like it's more light to medium. It really doesn't feel like a medium foundation to me. Like, honestly, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't want a medium coverage foundation. So I feel like it is a bit more light to medium. So if you're someone who likes medium to full coverage, you might be a little bit disappointed. You might just end up having to do more product on your face to get that coverage. But that being said, I like the finish. I like that you can still see, like I think you can still see some little veins here on the side of my face. There's probably some breakouts here you can kind of still see that are not like completely covered up, but you know what, whatever, I'm a human being, sometimes it happens. I think there's maybe like you can see like my freckles on my forehead, obviously, like they're still apparent, which I, like, again, I have no problem with, like that's part of my face. I live with it, it's fine. So let's talk about the claims of it being a 15-hour wear foundation. What does it say? It says a luminous liquid foundation with up to 15 hours of hydration. I don't think it's going to be like, listen, it's a foundation, it's makeup, it's not skincare. It didn't feel drying, like I said, like it didn't settle in my fine lines or in my smile lines. It didn't crack, it didn't feel heavy, it didn't feel cakey, so I can kind of see what they're talking about. But I think what I'm trying to say is that it feels exactly how a radiant foundation for drier skin or dehydrated skin should feel at the end of the day. Like it doesn't settle in the lines, it doesn't feel cakey or heavy, it doesn't just like evaporate. I don't know why some foundations, they seem to just like disappear at the end of the day. This stays in place. There's no real transfer. Obviously, if you go to rub your face, some of the foundation will come off, but if you were to touch your face, there's not going to be like thumbprints or fingerprints in your foundation, you know? I do like that it doesn't dry down too fast, so as you're applying it, you don't have to like blend one area too quickly, you know, you can kind of like dot it around and then like move around and blend it out as you go. Overall, this is a really nice foundation. I think the only little thing that I could add is that I wish they made it slightly more radiant. There is a little bit of radiance, but I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, it could always be a little bit more radiant. But I think that overall, this is a very good foundation. So I think this would be great if you have dehydrated skin, dry skin, or mature skin. I think you would like this foundation. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth giving a try. I think if you want to buy it online, I would recommend trying that shade finder thing to see if you can find the right shade for you, or go try it in store. Also, with the new foundation, they have this new sponge. Like Mercier came out with a new sponge, which I did not purchase because I have a beauty sponge and I have makeup brushes, so I didn't really feel like the need to buy a new one. They do say that you should, you know, use the sponge with the foundation, but I managed without it and it was fine. I think what I'll do is maybe I will wear a very radiant or luminous primer underneath, and I think that will help. Something like the NARS Radiance Primer, and I think Laura Mercier herself does have like a radiance primer. So I think I'll try putting that underneath the foundation to give it that like extra boost, extra glow. But yeah, that's about it for the video. I think it's a great foundation. I think it's worth a try. Definitely a really good one. So I have another foundation to review in the next few weeks, the Dior Forever Skin Glow, so be sure to check that out. So if you want to be in the know for when that new Dior foundation review comes out, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on the side so you can know whenever I post a new video. That's about it for today's video. There's not much else to say. It's a good foundation. It wears well. It applies well. I like the texture. There's no like scent. There's nothing really that stands out that makes me think that you shouldn't buy it. Like, I think it's a really good foundation. I mean, you know yourself, you know your budget, you know your makeup collection. If you don't need this, don't buy it. But if you have dry, dehydrated, or mature skin and you need a foundation, the new Laura Mercier one is pretty good. So that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.